Hey there, Starsector fans and non-Starsector fans. This video is going to be about Starsector.
That was redundant.
That was the most pointless intro in my life. Fuck me. Okay, never mind that. Basically, this video is going to be about Starsector. It's a 2D top-down spaceship game where you get to crew your own little spaceship, and it's also kind of like the Mountain Blade war games, like Mountain Blade Warband specifically, and Mountain Blade Bannerlord. If you didn't know what those games are about, basically they are medieval life simulators where you get to like go into jousting tournaments and stuff. It's actually a medieval combat simulator with like life elements thrown in there. Like you have to manage an army and everything, and you can get stronger, and you have to manage food supplies, and you can conquer castles. It's a riot to play, and I love the games even though I've never covered them on my channel. Starsector is what happens when you get the Mountain Blade games, and you flip it on its head and you go like knights and stuff in space.
Space!
But instead of that, it's like, you know, of course, futuristic, and everyone's got guns and lasers and missiles and whatnot. Yeah, that's what Starsector is. I've now explained it. If you want to know how to get into Starsector, at the top right corner of the screen right here, we're going to go and have a little link that you can click, also in the description of the video, that links you to my Beginner's Guide to Starsector video. Yeah, I know it's like, I don't know, 4 or 5 or even 6 years old at this point, but the thing is, the base game hasn't changed that much that the guide will still be useful for you to learn Starsector in case you want to get into it. I'm also going to be putting a link to the Fractal Softworks website where you can buy Starsector if you want. Trust me, the link is legit, even if the webpage looks sketchy as fuck when you finally click the payment processing thingamajiggy. Okay. With all of that out of the way, what is this video right here going to be about? Well, it's going to be about a recording that I recorded while I was playing Starsector. And in this recording, it's meant to be... I'm going to give pretty much not really a live commentary since I'm not streaming live on YouTube with this, but I'm going to do the closest equivalent to a live commentary where I press play on the video and then I comment over the things happening on it. And this specific thing is going to be kind of a little guide for all you people about how to successfully surround the enemy, because I'm going to be going into detail about all the tactics I use to surround them. Okay, I'm almost going to get into it. I just want to cover one quick thing. The reason why the video is just going to start all of a sudden with combat footage is because I didn't record the start of the encounter, because like when the encounter was already going and I already maneuvered my ships into kind of this encircling formation, circling the enemy ships, that's when I hit record, because before that I was having fun playing the game, and then I went in my head, no wait, that's YouTube content, I need to record this. So that's why the video is going to start off all of a sudden. Also, for a tiny bit of context before we start, the reason why I'm fighting the enemies here is a reason, if a lot of you are Starsector players, I think you're going to agree with me. It's the Hegemony. Of course I'm fighting the Hegemony. Who else would I be fighting? You want to know why I'm fighting them? They flew into my area of space and went, "It's time to inspect your cargo holds. We want to know what you have." And I went, "No," and gave them the finger. And they were like, "No, we must do this." And I'm like, "You must die." And then I powered up my weapons and started shooting them. So yeah, that's why this combat encounter started. So without any further ado, let's get into it. So here we have, as you can see, a whole bunch of my ships ready to fight the enemy. I was about to say let's go over my ship roster, but no, screw that, that's going to make the video take too long. Okay, hitting play, and here we go. So it starts off with me in the combat selections, like the tactical screen, and then immediately we have just all kinds of fire going on. The first thing you're immediately going to notice is, okay, on this ship here, I'm going to edit the video and put like a little arrow pointing to it, even though the arrow's not going to stay around. Yeah, that smaller ship there, you see, that's basically the enemy doing a really stupid tactic. You don't want to do that when you're surrounded. You don't want to kind of poke out of your formation too much, or the enemy is going to ruin you. Now this one here, this is a brawler type ship. I can't remember the name of it right now, but this is one of my favorite enemies to fight because it's so slow and its turn radius sucks and it can't reverse. So here I'm just like, sucker! I'm going to shoot you in the face. Also right here you can see a whole heap of enemy fighters are trying, bomber planes, like bombers are trying to kill my ship, but I just fired the main guns forward and they kind of ran into the fire. So yeah, also make sure you don't bring shit bombers and fighters to a firefight like this, otherwise you will die. If you're wondering what kind of ship I'm crewing, it's an Aurora Federation ship, because I got the Aurora Federation mod installed, and it's really good because it can rapidly reverse in different sections. If you notice what I was doing there, I was basically pausing, and the reason I was pausing is to select the enemy ship and hit R, selecting them as my main target, because you do that, that makes the missiles track them. And I got heavy-duty missiles on my ship, so I wanted them tracked. Here is where I screw up. I was not paying attention to my flux, and the enemy proceeds to overload me. So what I then did is I turned my ship slowly, as you can see here, and a lot of the missiles hit the front of the ship. In fact, all of them did, but my plan here, and it didn't work. I failed this. I was a numpty, and I screwed up. My plan was I was going to get my ship and turn it so all the missiles missed, thereby making them a full missile. Get the joke? Anyway, that failed, so I got hit in the nose, and my nose is bleeding. The nose of my ship is bleeding. And then I just proceeded to vent flux, because I'm like, my buddies can now take care of my ship. They are nice and guarding me, and I will then use them to hide behind. Here, I'm ordering my mule back, even though it's not at high flux at all, because the thing I've noticed is that even though mules are one of my favorite ships in the game, the AI pilots them like a piece of crap. They are always running in, and they are always dying real fast because they don't understand that their flux levels and everything make them a bit of a weak combatant, and they should really stay back more, and they treat themselves as a mainline ship when they shouldn't. Same what I'm doing with my Eradicator here. It may have no pilot in it, but the thing is, it's also a Luddic Path Eradicator, meaning it's got safety overrides built in, meaning ship is fast as fuck, boy. And because of that, it often will go into combat and then get itself killed. In fact, that's what I'm doing here. I'm basically micromanaging even my ships. I'm doing the babysitter's job of telling them all, go to this waypoint on the right side of the screen. I'm like, get out of there. Don't you even dare think about sitting in front of the enemy main capital ships, because I know my smaller ships are going to get themselves killed. And thanks to my micromanaging, you may think I'm a control freak, but later on you're going to see that it actually makes a heap of my smaller ships survive. And if you're anything like me, you love smaller ships because in the skill tree for Starsector, you will take Wolfpack tactics, thereby giving them even more damage against bigger ships. Here is another mistake of mine. As you can see, that's Colossus MK2 with my allied ship next to me. I accidentally bonked it with my shield and sent it spinning backwards, but luckily the AI was smart enough to immediately vent flux, and my captain there, my second in command captain, she vented the flux at a really opportune moment and is now slowly turning the ship around to face the enemy again. That could have gone so poorly. I'm so happy with how the AI acted there. If I could give them an in-game virtual cookie, I would, and I'd give her a promotion too. Because goddamn, that was some good maneuvering. Normally the AI will just screw up and die. So here, I'm doing the age-old tactic of switching targets, because this little, like, I don't know if it's called a Condor or no, it's called a Cerberus. That ship there, basically, with the Cerberus, I'm basically trying to switch ships targets now. I was attacking the Cerberus because it has no shield, and in my eyes, when you're in a battle like this, my tactic is just kill the thing. And by kill the thing, I mean I try and target the weaker ship as well as the bigger ones, because if the weaker ship dies, that's one less ship that you have to face that the enemy has. And one less ship you have to face is a good thing. Again, I am just staying back a whole heap, and I'm changing targets. I'm going for the, I think it's called Dominator here. That's actually the name of the ship. Yeah, like I said, Brawler class ship, but it is pathetically weak. And now here, I paused the screen because I am like paying attention. I think I will pay attention soon to my mule, because my mule is being an idiot. As you can see, it's going right up against the onslaught with its massive laser cannons. And you don't want to do that. You never want to do that. If you're a little weak ship like the mule, you want to get behind the onslaught. You don't go in for a full frontal assault. That is idiocy. Although if you are my Eradicator here, you kind of can do that. Because, I mean, that ship is a bit beefier and it's got beefier shields. The reason why I'm not telling a lot of my ships to back away here is because they're using actual Wolfpack tactics. They're swarming the onslaught. They are peppering it from all sides, and the captain of the onslaught currently is like, oh no, too many targets. Who do I shoot with the guns? And he's panicking. If the AI, I'm actually panicking. It might be just getting confused, but to me, it looks like it's panicking, and I'll say it's panicking because that's a human emotion, not an AI emotion. Wait, AIs don't have emotion, yeah, I forgot that. So basically here, I'm pretty much just like pounding him from the side. Man, that could be taken out of context. Don't do that. And I'm also trying to target him with missiles, and now I've just paused the, going to tactical view again, because I'm like, how's the fight going? How is the enemy dealing with, how's my ships dealing with stuff? And it turned out they were dealing with it very well, so I don't need to order too many things back and forth here. And here, I'm really, really proud of this moment. I'm so proud of it. What I did is I used my special ability of my ship to jaunt it backwards a number of times, and thanks to doing that, I not only prevented myself from getting overloaded and my flux getting too high, I also flew backwards so fast that all the missiles from the enemy bomber planes, bomber squadrons, weren't able to hit me. I basically disengaged so well that I negated all of their advantage. And here, again, I do a really good disengage. That's what you should be doing in disengages. You almost max out your flux. You almost max out your flux, and then right when you're about to max it out, you just get the F out of there, and you're like, see you, losers!
Dow.
And you don't get anything bad happening, because your flux can then recharge behind the lines of your own ships. Here, I'm paying attention to my, I didn't read what this kind of ship that is, but you'd know if you played Starsector for long enough. It's the small one right there with all the missiles. I'm telling it, buddy, back off, you're being an idiot. The onslaught here is shooting you. You don't need to do that. That's a terrible idea. Again here, I'm just firing my missiles. Also, another thing you may notice is that I have not gotten my fighters to engage the enemy at all. And that's because I want my fighters to act like a protective screen for me when there's too many enemy missiles nearby, even though my fighters will get shot for staying around me. But the other thing I like to do with my fighters is you've noticed that fighters will always go and attack enemies when you get really close by. That's my tactic here. I'm basically acting as the mama beehive, and I'm going into enemy ships and letting my fighters, when they aren't all destroyed because the enemy flak is blowing up a heap of them, hit the enemy ships on their own volition, just like the enemy fighters are doing, and that will basically make me win eventually. Okay, there, I'm really happy as well. Even though one of my allied fighters took the brunt of that missile, that Reaper torpedo didn't hit me, and I matter more since I'm the big capital ship here with the boom boom guns, and I will wreck the enemy more than the fighters will. Again, here, you see this mule? This is an enemy mule that's doing what I was talking about before. It has overextended like a bitch, and then it died like a bitch. Oh, that was perfect timing.
Oh no! 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 Ow!
Oh, I love that. I was just talking about this. Boom! Enemy mule dead. Here, we got more fighters coming in, attacking me. You notice how I didn't jaunt backwards there? I didn't jaunt backwards because my own allied hammerhead is behind me. You don't want to jaunt backwards with this type of ship when you've got allies behind you, or you will smash their engines into their shields, like I did a little bit there, but if you do it fast enough, you will actually break your own engines up and even cause an engine failure, like a flame out. You really don't want to do that. That's a terrible idea, so that's why I didn't do that. Again, I'm pretty sure he, as you can see, my mule is doing a terrible job backing out. He's getting hit in the face, and here I actually didn't tell him to back out because I'm like, I can fill in that spot. I can rush forward. Oh, there's only my only ship that died. It basically got bolted against one of my other ship's shields, but never mind that. Yeah, I was basically filling in the spot for the mule. So I'm like, if I fly forward and I distract the enemy and I get the enemy's attention, then my mule isn't going to get shot and he probably won't die. I made a gamble there. And also I made the gamble because I was too interested in shooting the enemy and as having fun blowing them up. Sometimes I do that. I'm not a perfect commander. Sometimes I'm just like, wee, big gun, boom, 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 and I'll just shoot it without properly thinking about how to command my forces. But for the most part, I'd like to say, to toot my own horn here, I'm pretty smart when it comes to commanding. Yeah, here we're kind of just, I guess, wrapping up the fight. Most of the enemy ships are on the ropes. They're not doing good. The Condor, which is the weak carrier ship over here, has gotten out of position and not hid behind its allies. And my hammerhead there was able to pound it in the front, and then it died horribly. Again, like a bitch. So, again, we kind of just sitting here, shooting at long range, because that's what this ship is good at. If you've got a ship that can shoot at long range over great distances, use that to your advantage. Don't always go in close, especially if you don't have a good exit method like this ship. And here, I basically took the brunt of those EMP missiles because I was like, I have enough flux that I don't give a crap, and this enemy ship is going to die pretty quickly. And I proceeded to back out because I'm like, you know what? My hammerhead is going to blow it up. And it did, with tactical lasers. Do you know how much of an insult that is? That is to the enemy taking the biggest L ever. You, on their deathbed, like their tombstone, it will then say, yo bro, I died to tactical lasers. Oh man, I'm shit. Yo bro, I died to tactical lasers. Oh man, I'm shit.
What a baby.
Which, yeah, no kidding. You died to a tactical laser of all things. Here, this is basically the last enemy of the entire bunch, the Onslaught, and this is why you don't want to just stay in one place. You want to get maneuvering, you want to use the Onslaught's engines, and you don't want to let the enemy surround you, because the Onslaught might be the toughest ship in the game, one of the toughest anyway. Right now it's got a flame out, it's getting swarmed by fighters. I'm in fact zooming in so I can watch the explosion. Right here, I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna go in for an even bigger hoorah. Shoot the missiles at them. And then that turned out to be a terrible idea because the enemy Onslaught exploded and it damaged my nose cone even more. Now you might be thinking, Cheese, You won. Why does it matter if you damage your nose cone or not? And the answer is more ship repairs later. And here I'm pursuing the enemy. What I'm doing here is I'm selecting all my ships that have not red combat readiness, because when it comes to having red combat readiness, that means that they will have malfunctions when fighting the enemy. And even though the match is all simulated, I wanted my ships at my highest combat capacity pursuing the enemy hegemony investigators, because I wanted them all dead. And again, here I'm just looting everything from the loot screen. This is kind of just after battle stuff. Here I randomly clicked on an enemy spaceship and got confused. I mean, a destroyed spaceship. Apparently I clicked on it already, so now I'm just salvaging a random transport ship, an Atlas, to get more of my supplies back. And now here, what I immediately end up doing is, I'm not sure if this is from a mod or not, but I'm checking the damage of my ships, and as you can see, all the ships that are in red and yellow, meaning they're heavily, like really heavily damaged or just damaged. And then I scroll down to my inventory here, and I find the nanite repair module. I'm pretty sure one of the mods I have installed gives me that. Basically, when you right-click it and use it, what it allows you to do is it uses a nanite swarm to repair all of your ships to make sure that they are in working condition. And when that happens, that means you only have to spend supplies on getting the combat readiness of your ships to maximum again. It is my favorite item from, like, I don't know what mod it comes from. It's definitely not in the base game. It's one of my favorite items of all time. I love that thing. I keep on finding them by exploring ruins on planets. Please give me more. They are like Pringles. I can't get enough. When you eat Pringles, you're addicted. These things, I'm addicted. I chew them up with my ships, and I want more. And that all being said, I don't need to ramble on any longer, because that is this tactic video over.